Hey guys. Stay. Let's turn the light on. There we go. I'm just giving it a couple seconds so a couple people can get on before I get started. I figured why not have something cute to look at. He's so cute. This will be my first time doing a live video in Barb's Bags Facebook group. I'm kind of excited about it. I haven't made an Emily Tote in a while, so I'm going to go ahead and do one of those today. What do you think, Poppy? Should we get started? People can catch up later. What do you think? Yeah? Okay. Okay. All right, I will just go ahead and kind of show you my fabrics really quick, and then I'll get started, and then I'll just see everybody when they get on. So I found this really pretty fabric at Joann's. Very pretty. It's like a cotton canvas type home decor stuff. It's heavier than regular cotton, and I put Woven Fuse 2 on it. There's that. I didn't put any interfacing on the small lining strip that goes on the top. I didn't use any interfacing, just that way it's a little bit easier to sew through. The zipper top, same thing. I have Woven Fuse 1 on the exterior and waterproof canvas for the lining. Vinyl, I just got this from Fabric Wholesale Direct. Yes. And that's also where I got the waterproof canvas, Fabric Wholesale Direct. On the bottom, I put Decoville Heavy. And on these parts, the outside, exterior, whatnot, I put Decoville Light, 1 layer, just to give it a little bit more sturdiness. So I'm going to go ahead and start on my exterior pocket panel piece. And get it out of the way because I don't like it. If anyone hops on, just say hi, let me know you're here. All right, I went ahead and drew a line 1 inch down from the top of all of the short ends, and I'm just going to match my raw edge up with that line. So I'm just putting some double-sided sticky tape right on the very ends. I already did one end, so I'm just going to go and do the other end real quick. Hello. Thanks for joining. Hi, Carol. Oh, yeah. FYI, if I say hi, my dog thinks someone's here. So. And it is a Wednesday, so if the garbage comes and he hears the beeping, he'll probably bark. Just so you know. Hi. Sorry, buddy. Okay, I might not say hi every single time, just so he doesn't bark. You're fine. Okay. I'm just going to peel the tape off and fold that down to that line and get my zipper panels prepared. This is my first time using the Woven Fuse, so I'm kind of excited to see how it looks in the end and how it holds up. I've used Decoville Light and Decoville Heavy a lot, so this is kind of like a, I don't know, review video, maybe, in a way. So far, I like it. Definitely a lot better than SF101 for sure. Very nice stuff. Okay. Good afternoon. Go lay down. Go lay down. It's all right. So where is everybody from? I'm from up in Northwest Ohio, and it has been pretty warm here the past few days. It is nice and hot. Not really breezy today, it's just warm. So trying to stay cool. All right, let's see. I'm just taking my this end of my zipper piece, and I'm going to fold it and make it kind of like a 90-degree, and right size together with my exterior. And I'll clip it here and show you real quick what I mean. So kind of like that. I didn't put it all the way at the very end. I just put it in, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or so. And then I'm going to baste this on once I clip it. Sean, you're not late at all. We just got started. I am making, oh, I tried to put a little sign over here in case anyone, I don't know if you'll notice it or not, but that's my machine and then the bag I'm making. An Emily Tote by mormino.com. Florida. I bet it's good and hot in Florida. Heat advisory for the past week. Oh, Central California, Florida. Oh, I just feel like it's just hot everywhere. I hear we're supposed to be having maybe one more day of heat here at least, and then it's supposed to cool down a little bit. Whoops. There we go. Sorry, my thing wasn't, there we go. I wasn't updating. Phew. All right, got it clipped. I'm just going to baste it on. Let's start down here. My machine's a little fast. Okay. The little bend can be kind of tricky. To turn my light down a little. I just basted it on. I'm going to go ahead and put my waterproof canvas. Would be right size together with your exterior. So your exterior is right side up. Your zipper is right side down. Waterproof canvas is right side down. Oh, only 97. It is warm. I don't mind it when you can like go swimming, you know, go to the beach or something like that. But when it's just hot and you can't get out of it, ugh, it's so miserable. Hopefully everybody's staying nice and cool. I didn't fold these exactly. There we go. Okay. The stitch length was up a little high. I just turned it down to about a 4. I am warm. All right, I'm just folding my wrong sides together now, and then I'm going to top stitch around all of this to keep it, whatever you want to call it. I'll just clip it and show you. It's kind of stiff with the waterproof canvas. So I've been, I guess just for some chit chat here, I've been laid off from my job for this whole COVID thing, lack of work, stuff like that. And it's been about, gosh, 6 weeks, something like that. I'm not supposed to go back until the 27th. Well, they just called me today and said I got to come back on Monday. So I'm sad, but it's all right. I mean, it'll be all right. I've had a lot of time off. I've enjoyed it. But I suppose I need to go back to work sometime, right? All right. I have it all folded, wrong size together. I'm just going to top stitch around the whole thing. I'm going to make sure to be really nice and neat along this edge because everyone will see that one in the bag. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and fold this panel in half, meeting the edges, not the zipper edge, but the edges of my panel. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. And just find the center, and I'm just going to put a little snip there with my scissors. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side with the other panels. Sorry if it's kind of quiet. I don't really know exactly what to talk about yet. I just needed to get on here about this time today. We have our outdoor cat. Finally got her to the vet to get her spayed, and I need to pick her up about 4:30 or so today. So I'm trying to do this before then. That way I got plenty of time to do everything I need to do. So I'm not in a hurry, I suppose, but just don't want to take too long. Sometimes these scissors, sometimes these zippers can be a real pain in the butt to fold just right. Okay. Let's see. Oh, what are you barking at? You silly boy. You're fine, buddy. All right, and then right sides together. Waterproof canvas is right sides up, and then right sides down. You're fine, Poppy. Well, I guess I do have another story I could tell. We went away for the weekend. We left Friday. And yeah, we went to see some friends. They have a lake house. And so we went, to enjoy the water and check out their house. Well, 1 second, this is loud. Okay, so we're getting ready to leave Friday morning, and Poppy, the dog, ends up having the scoots, I guess you could say. So I'm like, oh, this is great. It's about a 7.5, 8-hour trip with him stopping and stuff to get there. So 8-hour trip roughly, and the morning we're leaving, my dog has the scoots. Like, great, this is gonna be nice. So it wasn't too bad. He didn't make any messes in the vehicle or anything, but every time we stopped, he had the scoots. He was kind of restless in the car, truck, whatever. And about an hour and a half away from getting there, he decides to puke in the truck. So we had to find a exit, which of course took a hot minute because we just weren't around one that was available. So anyway, we finally get him out and let him go like potty or whatever. He wouldn't. He already puked, so he was done by then. So we get back in the truck, and then literally like 8 minutes before GPS said we were supposed to be there, he decides to puke again. Like, oh my gosh. We're going to this nice lake house. You know, our friends invited us, and here we are bringing our sick dog. So we finally make it. We get there, and he pukes on their floor. Hershey squirts around my house. Oh my gosh. My dog is the weeniest dog. He has tummy pills he has to take every day, allergy pills. He can't have like melon, or he gets we call them fish farts. They smell like fish. Anyway, that's gross. But yeah. So we get there, he pukes on their floor. Well, not only is it a nice lake house, but they're also in the middle of trying to sell it. So they're trying to keep everything nice and clean in case, the realtors call or whatever. Excuse me, and someone wants to see it or whatever. So I'm like, great. So we get there, and I'm all stressed out, and I'm like, I'm sorry I brought my sick dog. He's never like this, I swear. And he usually isn't. Usually he's just a good boy. But, 1 second. So yeah, and she's like, oh, it's okay. She's a sweetheart. I mean, I love our friends. But, yeah. So we had to go get groceries. Because we had 3 of us, my daughter, my husband, and I, and then my son was coming with one of his girlfriend, or not one of, with his like girlfriend, lady friend. We've never met her before, so there's going to be quite a few of us there. So we need to go to the grocery store. So they have, their laundry room, a smaller room, plus we brought the dog's cage. And I'm like, we can just put him in his cage in the laundry room since he's not feeling well. And they're like, oh, he'll be fine. Just leave him in the laundry room. You don't need to put him in his cage. Whatever. I'm like, okay. So we left. It wasn't even gone that long. We come back. Yeah, he went potty all over their floor. Oh my gosh. So we had to clean all that up. And now I'm just like, okay, this is the worst trip ever. I just want to go home. I was like, oh my gosh. I just felt so awful because I brought my sick dog. So there's already a screw in there. So we cleaned that up, and he was just hyper. I think he was worked up from the trip. I don't know what it was, but he was psycho dog. Finally calmed down. We got through the evening. The next day, we all go out, and we go on the boat. And and I'm like, I'm sure he'll be fine. He was just worked up yesterday from the trip. We'll try it again. Yeah. We had fun on the boat. A couple of us got burnt. So that was kind of not traumatic, but But it was a beautiful day. We swam, we did all that good stuff. And we get back, of course, he went potty all over the floor again. I'm like, all right, well, obviously we're not going to be able to leave him home alone. Otherwise, he's just going to go potty in their house. So I got to make my center mark. There's that one. So that evening when we got back, my son's girlfriend said she wasn't feeling good. Excuse me. So I gave her some medicine. She ended up laying down and taking a nap. She slept pretty much the whole weekend. She was not feeling good. I don't know if it was anxiety, meeting her boyfriend's parents or what, but she didn't feel good. So now my dog doesn't feel good, and my son's girlfriend, doesn't feel good. I'm like, great. Okay, well, that, I think, was it for the next day, Saturday. But Sunday, we decided to go out again, and my son said he'd stay home since his girlfriend wasn't feeling good. So they stayed back at the house. Well, we came back, and he's cleaning out the dog's cage. And I'm like, why are you cleaning out his cage? Well, because he pooped in his cage. I'm like, why was he in his cage? I thought you were supposed to be watching him. I didn't know you were going anywhere, all that. Well, he's like, I wanted to go fishing, and it was kind of warm, so I didn't want to take the dog. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The exterior, I'm just attaching these bottom exterior pieces too. And I think the pattern calls for ½ inch seam allowance, but this is an 80%. I printed it out at 80%, so I'm not going to do a ½ inch. I'm going to do a little bit smaller. So yeah, so he says it was too hot, and it was only for like 45 minutes. And the dog, Poppy, was acting normal, so he thought it'd be fine to just put him in his cage for a little bit. Pooped in his cage. So I tell you, I'm like, all right, well, I wish you wouldn't have done that or whatever, but you know, it is what it is. And the dog's used to being on the couch at our house. He's used to being on the furniture, sleeping with us. And there, you know, they didn't want him on the furniture. Understandable, because they're trying to sell. They want everything nice. I get it. So we had to cover all the furniture, and it was one of those trips where it was like everything kept going wrong. And that night that my son went fishing, when the rest of us went out in the boat again, we ended up, he accidentally ran over like a tree trunk or something in the lake, a really big one. It hit the bottom of the boat. We thought it broke. It didn't, thank goodness. It was like one thing after another this trip. And then my friend, the wife, she had to go back to work Monday morning, and she works from home. And she got on her computer, and it crashed. She lost all her drives, all that. It was like more bad luck. And then her husband had an old car. He used to live up here. But anyway, he was bringing it back from there up to here, and he left early. Also, well, he calls us later on and says he didn't make it, that the car broke down. Like, oh my gosh. I don't know if we brought the bad luck or if it was just a bad luck type of weekend, but wow, what a weekend. Do you guys ever have days like that, weekends like that? It's like nothing could go right. And we did have fun, and we did have a nice visit, but wow, I was ready to come home. I was done. All right, I just sewed it on. I'm just going to top stitch. If anyone has any questions, just ask. I know I'm kind of just going through this. Hi, Mandy. I knew as soon as I said hi, you're fine. Go lay down. Go on. Dog and 2 little kids, things can get messy fast. Oh, I bet, Mary. My kids are all grown. My youngest is going to be 18 this year. So, I mean, I don't really have to worry about the little ones anymore. But she's a tornado, though. She comes home and she tears the place up. So, but yeah, I used to babysit back in the day before she started kindergarten. I wanted to stay home until she started school. There was days I had a ton of kids in my house, and it was very hectic, very hectic. All right, let me see. Where do I want to put my, I'm going to put my little name tag, not name tag, but handmade thing. I'm trying to decide if I want it down here or up here. I think I want it up here. I think I'd like that. Okay. I'm just kind of, I think I'm going to go 2 inches down. I'm not going by the pattern. After I've made so many, I just kind of know how it's done. I just guess after a while. I'm just finding my center. 2 inches down. Yeah. Okay. And I just want to say that Barb from the group here is awesome. I've been talking to her a little bit here and there about interfacing, and you know, she's just really great. It's great to work with. She replies to messages really fast. If anyone has any, you know, questions or anything, I'm Heidi's just asking her, messaging her. She's awesome. I appreciate her letting me do this, and yeah. I mean, SF101 is good. I mean, that's what I've used up until now. I'm gonna definitely keep buying Woven Fuse. I love it. But if you can get SF101 from like Joann's or I don't know where else keeps it, I mean, that would be a plus. But 809 is okay. It gets kind of wrinkly. I don't really like how wrinkly it gets. And like with things, shipping and stuff, I don't really know what to tell you because shipping is just kind of cruddy all over the place. I know you can get the Decaville Light. I think I bought it from Joann's once, but that's hit and miss. One time I bought it and I got it, and the second time I bought it, they sent me the wrong stuff. And I mean, you could try it if you absolutely need some interfacing. I mean, you can give it a try. I think Joann's, if you have a Joann's close to you, they do have like curbside pickup. You wouldn't even have to go in if you didn't want to. Yeah, that's all I can think. Okay, I put my name tag on, and on the back I had a scrap piece of Decaville Heavy. I put that on also. I'm not ironing it on. I'm just putting it on, just for a little extra, you know. And then I'm putting the washer on and fold these out. Okay. And there's that. This is pretty fabric. I'm excited. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get my bottom piece. And again, since I made this smaller, when I cut the Decaville Heavy out, no Joann's, you have seen someone on Amazon. I might try getting that. Oh, okay, yeah, try Amazon. I haven't bought anything off Amazon in a while, but yeah, you're right. You could probably still get it there. But yeah, in the pattern for the bottom piece, it's like a 1/2 inch smaller all around. I did make mine like that, but I'm not going to sew a 1/2 inch since it's the 80%. I'm probably going to make it a little bit smaller, even though I know there's going to be a little bit of a gap, but I didn't think, and I don't want to tear it off and redo it. So, but basically what you want is the, yeah, can you see it right there? This little notch. You basically want it the width of that notch this way. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Mira. I was wondering if anyone would even notice it. I just slopped it up there really quick, or flopped it up there really quick. But yeah, I love the Decaville and all of her interfacing. It's just like so much better than SF101 and the stuff you get from Joann's. It is. It's much better quality, all that. Turn it down a little. And I love Mary. I love to sit and watch people make bags also. Even if they're not talking, I mean, it seems like kind of a boring video, but I could just sit and just watch all day. I love it. Okay, I'm just going to fold this down, make sure that piece stays out, and we're going to top stitch on the bottom panel. Just in case I need it. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right. And then top stitch. So I do like to watch a lot of Lauren Momino's videos over on at So Whatever YouTube and from her Facebook group also. Sometimes I'm really into them and I can just, yes, they are hair clips. I got them from Amazon, but Lauren, who I'm just talking about at mormino.com, she sells them also. And hers are kind of like let me get the lighting right here. They're kind of like a rainbow. The ones I got on Amazon were just silver, plain silver. But Lauren's are rainbow. But I don't remember the shop or whatever from Amazon. But I think they are 1 3/4 long from one end to the other, if that helps. They're so nice. You can just like, you don't have to pinch them to get them off. You just pull them off and they come right off. But yeah, I like to watch a lot of Lauren's videos. Sometimes I'm really into it and I like to watch them to follow along to make the same bag. And I'll pause the video and, you know, all that. But then sometimes I watch it and then I fall asleep. But it's not because she's boring. It's just, I don't know, because I'm tired. I don't know. But yeah. And I also like to cross stitch. And there are some cross stitch YouTube channels that's just, I think it's called Stitch With Me or something. I don't know. But they don't talk or anything. You just sit there and you just watch them stitch. Is anyone else like that? You just like to watch stuff like that? You think it'd be really boring, but a lot of people, I think, like to watch this stuff. And again, I'm just kind of making up my own seam allowances since I made the patterns smaller than what the instructions called for. So I'm not sure what it said to use. This looks like 1/4 inch. I don't know. I'm guessing. So maybe it calls for 1/4 inch on this part. Back stitch. Okay, I did get a little ahead of myself though. I need to do my straps real quick. I am warm. Okay, all I did so far was I just sewed the sides together, which I didn't really have to do yet because I'm doing my, I haven't done my straps yet, so I got a little ahead of myself. You sting it. I crochet too. I love crochet. Oh, let's see. I've already put my line down the center of my straps, and I'm going to put some double-sided sticky tape on that center line and then fold my long edges into the center. Non-active. I knew what you meant. I even read it and I didn't even notice that it said native. I just thought it said active. Now I found some like that I liked when I was starting embroidery. There's this woman that I couldn't understand her, but I loved watching her just stitch. Really, really pretty stuff she was doing too. And even though this is a live, I'll probably upload it to my YouTube afterwards, just so it's there. And you know, it's just, I don't know, one more video people can go and watch. You can never have enough sewing videos on YouTube. At least I don't think you can. Okay, I just got my tape down the center. Netflix, well, yeah, Netflix definitely slows me down too. Right now I'm into watching Supernatural. I think I'm on season 7, something like that. I'll get distracted real easy. I used to listen to a podcast like True Crime. I think it's called Crime Junkie. That sounds right. Crime Junkie podcast on Spotify. And I kind of binge listened, whatever you do to podcasts. But and then I kind of listened to them all. I didn't have any more to listen to, so that was kind of nice because you could just listen. But it's like a story, you know. Or sometimes I turn on sewing videos and just kind of let YouTube you know, keep going and just play whatever after the one's over, and that just kind of is in the background for noise. All right, I folded the long edges in. I'm going to fold that in again. My lighting is crud. Fold it in again. I'm just going to top stitch around all 4 sides. I did not put any interfacing in my straps either. I wanted them kind of loose, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Hands, don't go too far. Ooh. I'm going to do my straps different than the pattern calls for also. I'm going to sew them into the bag instead of using strap connectors and D-rings and all that. I'm going to stick them in here and then baste them down, and that way they're just sewn right into the seam. So that's something I do that's a little bit different than the pattern also. I always seem to go off the pattern, and my first one I'll do exactly so I get a hang of everything of how it's made and how it's put together, but typically I always like add a pocket or take a pocket away or do something. I'm always modifying it somehow. Going to top stitch again. My light is really shaky over here. The table is shaky too for some reason. What foot is on my machine? This is the regular walking foot that came with it. I do have a zipper foot, but yeah, this is just the regular one. All right, now I just want to figure out where I want my straps to be. Get my pen. I'm going to say 4 inches, wait, 3.5? I'm doing 3.5 inches from my 3.5 inches over from my stitch line, not from the edge of the bag, but from my stitch line. And I'm just going to measure 1 inch down. Oops. I don't know why I'm measuring 1 inch down. That was kind of dumb. But I could have done this before I sewn my sides together, but it's not too late. Go ahead and just put this in here. Make sure it's not twisted. I know it's probably hard for you to see because it's dark colors. I'm just going to lay it in there on the inside. I'll show you once I clip it here. Okay. 3.5 inches in from each side. You don't need to make this 1 inch mark down. I wasn't thinking. You need to make a mark on your straps. And I'm going to do that at 3/4 of an inch from the edge. I will show you. Just make a 3/4 of an inch down on each strap. All over the place. Okay. And we'll do this again on the second strap too. All right. So I just like to fold it in half. So it's, you know, they're flat, nothing's twisted. My marks I made are facing each other. Put it in the bag. You're still holding it folded together. Open it up. So it's like a big U, nothing's twisted. And then just turn those marks that you made up. And that's how you want it to sit in your bag. And the marks are there because that's where I want it to line up with on the top edge of my bag. So that way each strap is sticking out the same exact amount at the top, if that's understandable. So you didn't need this 1-inch mark at all. You needed the marks on your straps. So I'm going to go ahead and baste those down so they don't move, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just double check and make sure my strap isn't twisted. Okay. Would have been a little bit easier if I would have done it before I sewed the sides, but that's all right. It still works. Okay, go ahead and get this one. Okay. Trim all those threads. Alright, so that's what it looks like. I just basted it on. If you can see on this one. I'm just going to measure the same measurement on the other side and do the same thing. 3.5. I don't know why I keep it this way. Okay. All right. Same thing, those marks we made, face them together so everything's nice and flush. Stick it in the bag. And then point them up. And I'm putting them on the inside of the line that I marked, not on the outside, the inside. And that one. Okay, so you see my mark? They're on the inside of that mark, not the outside. Do I use a heavier thread? I believe what I'm using is T90. I got it from Sunny Sewing Machines, and that is all that I use in this machine. So I would say the answer would be yes, because I don't sew vinyl on my other machine. But yeah, I can't answer that. If you have like a domestic, I don't know. I only use one type of thread on my domestic, and actually it's, I haven't bought any in a while, but Superior Threads has it. It's Omni, and that's, I just buy the cones, and that's what I use on my domestic for the lighter material and stuff. So, all right. I'm sure you can't see it because the lighting is crud, but yeah, you can't see it. Anyway, the straps are in, and they're sticking out 3/4 of an inch, and I just like to hold it up to make sure they're all nice and straight and they're all flush, you know, on both sides. I'm going to finish my exterior here and box the corners. So open up that center seam. Oh, we'll lay it flat. I want to lay it flat. I guess, Holly, before I got my industrial, I did try to sew some bags with my domestic, and I didn't have any special thread, just the usual stuff, and it worked, but I feel like the heavier stuff is just more durable. But it did work, and I have bags that I'm still using that I used the other thread for. So when you sew this part, you're going to sew from your outer edge, your outer stitch that you made when sewing the bottom on and top stitching. You want to stop and start at that, not all the way to the edge. Just stop and start at that last stitch when you're boxing your corners. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, I am going to trim these down so they're not so thick. I'm just kind of leaving the edges kind of where they're at. I don't want to cut into those seams. It's kind of like a little U shape cut out. Ooh, I almost got my finger in there. That would not be good. All right. This bag is so cute, and it's just tiny. So adorable. I'm not going to trim the size down. I think it'll be fine. Now we can go ahead and get to, yeah, the lining. Cool. Whew, I'm warm. Okay. Let's find our centers. I'm just going to do a simple zipper pocket on the inside. Let's find the center of our pocket. Line those up. I don't know. Yep, you can see. Looks like it's about 1 inch, roughly, give or take. Let's go down just a little more. Doesn't need to be up that high. Okay, I need my ruler. All right. Just finding my center mark that I made on that zipper pocket piece, the little rectangle. Mark my center, and I'm going to go over to about 3.5. 3.5. So it's going to be a 7-inch zipper, basically. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to have to line it up again because I moved it. Honestly, I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not really following any directions. And I'm going to fold this part up and clip it. Kind of keeps it from shifting while I'm sewing. It's kind of a good tip to know. Put another one in here. Oops. So there you go. And now I'm just going to sew all around the box. Some people like to sew on the short ends. Some people don't. I don't. I just sew 2 parallel lines, but I guess it's just preference. Stitch that down a little. Sorry if you can hear my chair, it's squeaky. I just need a new one, but every time I move, it tends to let me know that it's moving. All right, that's what I got. I'm going to cut a slit through the center and then do like a little, I'm going to mark it so I don't go too far. For those that it's never done a zipper pocket before, I know I'm kind of just flying through it. Those lines that I just drew is where I'm going to cut. So you don't want to cut all the way to your threads and past them, but you want to cut just to them. So you're going to cut all the way through and then on these 2 little tiny lines. Just don't cut through any of your threads. Let's see. use my seam ripper to get it started. Scissors. Okay. If I forget anything and any of you realize and you have questions, just holler at me. I'm kind of in a hurry, but kind of not. I have plenty of time. It looks like it's only like a little after 2 right now. I've got tons of time. I just feel like I'm gonna miss picking her up, the cat from the vet, that is. But okay. I've sewn my holes and my little, let's see, my little corner pieces here. I'm going to flip this pocket through that hole. I'm going to steam it a little bit first because this waterproof canvas seems to fold better and stuff when you do that. So if you do this, just don't put your iron on the canvas. Just hit that steam button a bunch. Just kind of makes it a little softer. It's still going to be kind of a pain in the butt to get through this hole because it just always is, but it does help a little. And once we get it through the hole, we're going to press it again so it lays nice and flat. It's just kind of a pain because of its texture, the type of fabric that it is. All right. You can press the right side of the waterproof canvas. Yeah, it's like a light pink. I don't know what the exact name of it is, but yeah, it's a light pink color. But yeah, you can press the right side of it. Just don't leave it there for a long time. I've never melted any of it or hurt any of it, but I've never left my iron there long enough to find out what would happen. But I'm assuming something would happen. Okay. Nice and pressed. Zipper was lost. All right. I'm just going to pick a spot and start. Some people like to use double-sided tape. I just feel like it's an extra unneeded step, but if you feel like the double-sided tape would help with keeping your zipper in, you know, from moving around, then by all means use it. I feel I can just kind of, yeah, we're good. Hold it and take my time and it works fine. Trying to be careful since I'm using gray thread. Better just use this before I go crazy here. There we go. I want to make sure I get my zipper pull in here. I almost waited too long. Move it out of the way. Okay. I'm going to zip it back up so the zipper kind of stays shut up here. Okay. Unzip it again. Okay. Zipper. Now I'm going to go ahead and put right sides together with the zipper pocket piece. And I'm going to leave the bottom of it open, so I'm just going to stitch on the top and the sides. Thank you. I think it's just beautiful. I found it at Joann's. I was kind of surprised because usually I don't find much there. But at least much that I like a bunch. So it's really pretty. And it was on sale. I think I spent, it was like $7 a yard, maybe? Something like that. I'd have to look. I can't remember. It was in the home decor fabric, so usually that stuff's like, what? Anywhere from $13.99 to $21 a yard or more, something like that. So they had a lot of sales when I went yesterday. So, yeah. One more clip. All right, leaving that bottom edge open, I'm just going to sew around the top and the sides. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance and not trim it down, just so there's that much more space inside of it to store stuff. It just, I don't know. I don't think a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch really makes that big of a difference, but you just might be able to get a few more things in it, bigger things in the pocket. Again, just personal preference, and I'm not going by the pattern really for seam allowances. I just kind of guess. So if it's a little wonky, just kind of shove it in there and make do. It'll work. One more side. Whew. I think I just heard my AC kick on. All right, I am just folding this edge out so that way it's a little nicer when it comes time to stitch it closed. I don't know what I thought I was trying to say there, but I'm just going to iron this, being careful not to really touch that wrong side. Just want to give it a crease so it'll keep its shape. All right, and that's what the back side looks like. Make sure your zipper is at least halfway. It's always good because we're going to flip our bag through here and we want to be able to get to it. Next is the zipper panel, whatever you want to call it. So I want my zippers to be going the same way. So when they're shut, they're going to be on this end. So that's how I'm laying it on here. And I forgot to find my center snip. Helen, good afternoon. I don't want to say H-I because my dog's sitting here staring at me, and if I say H-I or H-E-L-L-O, he freaks out. Of course, he did just jump down, so maybe good afternoon. Maybe he knows what that means too. Who knows? He's a goofy dog. Where's my sips? All right. So waterproof canvas, right side up. Your exterior, you got a lining and an exterior. You want your exterior right side up. You're going to lay it on top. Find your centers, and we're going to baste it on. And you don't have to baste. You could actually put this other piece on too. I'm going to do one of each, so just to show you the difference. Okay. I will baste to this one, and then I will not baste to the other one. It doesn't really make much of a difference. These pieces usually lay pretty flat. Okay, so that's what we have. I'm using my laptop, so I want to go this way, and in the video it goes that way, so I'm completely lost. All right, I'm just going to baste it on really quick. And to baste it, all I did was follow the stitching that was already on there from when we top stitched. That's all I did. So now it's basted on. I'm going to go ahead and get the, I think it's a lining piece in the pattern is what it's called, but I always do it the same as my exterior, like the outside of our bag with this pattern on it, and my exterior pocket. I just think it looks better when it's finished. Again, personal preference. But we don't have to find the centers on this. It should be the same length as your lining piece. Might be off a little depending on how you cut it, but lay it right side down on top of all this. And we'll clip it on. And then when I sew this on, I think I'll do it at like, oops, 5/8. No, 3/8 seam allowance, like not quite ½ inch. Again, I'm doing this at 80% and not 100%, so I don't want to get too wild on my seam allowances because I feel like it's going to be off if I do. All right, so that's what it looks like. It's right side down. So I'm going to do 3/8 roughly seam allowance. Back stitch when you get to that zipper panel. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to flip that up. We're going to leave, okay, this is what it looks like. We're just going to flip that little piece up, keep that seam out, and we're going to top stitch right through that seam that we just made. That's what we're doing now. That's what we've got. And I'm just going to do the same exact thing to the other side. I didn't put any split pockets or anything on this one. I still need to find the center of it though. Okay, lay it right side up. And then this piece, you're going to pick this up and lay it. Let me lay it here. There we go. Okay, right side up. Pick this up, and you're going to put the right sides of your linings together. We're going to do the same thing we just did. So we're going to attach this side, but your linings are right sides together. I feel like I'm confusing myself trying to explain that. All right. This time I'm not going to baste this on. I'm just going to put the other piece on and go right for it. So I clip it on, and I grab this other piece and lay it right on top. Make sure it's on there. I will put a clip down here, and then I'll just remove, clip down here, and then I'll just remove this one and put it back on so it's holding all three pieces. Everything's pretty flat here. It's, I mean, not really any reason to baste unless you're just unsure that you're going to be able to get it nice and straight, then of course baste. But okay, 3/8 of an inch again. Seam allowance, that is. All right, same thing, we're just going to pick that up and top stitch that seam we just made. Nope, ran out of bobbin. Shucks. It's all right. Of course, it had to be on top stitching. That's how it goes. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump right back in it. I'm not going to rip my stitches out. It's kind of dark. I think it'll blend okay. If not, oh well, this bag's for me. I don't mind. If it was a customer bag, I probably would have ripped all those out and started over. Okay. Trim all these. Squeaky chair. Squeaky scissors, can you hear that? Everything's just squeaky over here. All right, now we have our zipper panel done. I'm going to unzip my zipper most of the way. Take this little zipper end and flip it up. And then I'm going to clip it. I'm going to clip it on itself. So I flipped it up and then clipped it to itself, if you can see that. That way it stays out of the way and I don't accidentally sew through it. I just want to keep it out of the way. And then we're going to do the same thing and make sure I got all my pieces. All right, same thing. We're going to sew our edges and then leave the bottom open. We're going to attach it. Well, we'll just get to it. Then we'll put it in the bag and flip it through. No need to explain it. We'll get there. All right, let's just sew our edges here really quick. All right, and this time I think I'm going to do like a 1/2 inch. Don't want to go too big since the pattern's smaller than 100%, because if it's too big of a seam allowance, it won't fit in the bag right, and you won't be able to put it together right. So you don't want to be too far off. Or just don't be like me at all. Just follow the pattern, even though it's at 80%, and do the exact seam allowances for these sides at least, so you know that it's going to fit right when it does come time to put the lining with the exterior. All right. When I put my lining sides together, I'm just lining up those top things we just sewed. I don't know what you would call them. I'm not using my words very good today. The lining, I don't know. I don't know what it's called. Even though I just cut the pattern out this morning, I don't know. The two little skinny fabric pieces. You know. I'm just lining those up so that way when you look in the bag, they're flush all the way around the bag. Let's double check, make sure your zipper is out of the way. Those are so cute. All right, so that's what we have. I am going to trim them down a little bit just to get rid of some of the bulk. Yeah, just a little. Okay. This is where it's going to get exciting. Okay. You can unclip your zipper, open it up all the way, and we're going to turn it right side out, your lining that is. Okay. This is what it should look like. Get your zipper, and then nothing over here. Awesome. We're going to put it inside our bag. So when, like, this is going to be the, when I'm holding the bag and carrying it around, I want my handmade label thingy to be the front. So whatever your front is, like, put it up against you so you kind of know. So when I'm holding it, this is how I want to look into it when I'm going to grab something out of it as I'm holding it. And if I want my interior zipper to also be on this side, so when I reach in, it's right here, then I will put it in like this, so it's also pointing that way. But if when I reach in my bag, I want to reach into this side for my zipper, I'm going to turn it around so the zipper is towards me when I insert it. Honestly, I don't really care either way. As long as I got a zipper to put stuff in, I'm happy. So I'm just going to put it in this way. So this is the outside of my bag that everyone's going to see when I'm carrying it. When I reach in, the zipper will also be on that side. Shove it on in there. I like to, the bottom of my lining, that little cutout piece, I like to flip those up. I don't know if you can see it. They're kind of flipped out. That way it kind of just fits inside a little bit better. Let me put it down here so I can see. But whatever works, just shove it in there until it's in there good. And then we're going to pin all the way around the top. And that's why these seam allowances matter a lot, because when you put your lining inside of your exterior, if the seam allowances are off, your lining could be bigger than it needs to be. It won't fit correctly, and you may have to re-sew it or unpick or something like that. So I like to do one on each side and then kind of pull it, and then one in the middle. I gotta say, this Woven Fuse too, I love it. I love the feel of it. It's, gosh, I'm just so used to SF 101 and 809 that it's crazy that this is like, gosh, it's just like high quality stuff. I don't even know. I'm not even trying to sell it here. I'm honestly just, wow. I should have known it'd be good stuff because I like Decaville Light, so game changer for sure. I love it. Okay. Hold on, make sure everything's nice and straight and smooth. So close, almost done. All right, I've just clipped all the way around. And now I'm probably going to, on the 100%, I do this. On the 100%, when I print it out at 100%, I follow the edge of my lining up here, and that's where I stitch. I don't know if I'll do that. I think I'm just going to go like 3/8 of an inch away just from this top edge. Because otherwise it'd be like a 1/2 inch or more if I went right up against this lining right here. So, yeah, I think we'll do like 3/8. Let's see what happens. When you get to your straps, just make sure they're kind of sticking in there straight, and I'm going to backstitch when I get to them, and right before I leave them. Squish it all around here. Okay. Backstitch your side seams really good. I nested my side seams when I put them together just because it's kind of thick. A lot of people like to open the seams and butt them up together. That works too. Either way is fine. Almost. Backstitch. Hang on, I got some strings here. Let's cut these. All right. I like this way too, Mary. I mean, I like the square rings and D-rings and stuff because when you carry in your bag and you sit it down, the straps just kind of flop down. They don't kind of stick up if they're stiff. But I mean, there's nothing really wrong with this way either. It's just kind of cheaper, I guess, in a way because you don't have to use the extra hardware, and then you don't have to make the extra little strap connectors to sew onto the bag also. All right, I just pulled the lining completely out of the bag, and we're going to turn the whole thing right side out. Poke out our corners. That is so pretty. I love it. Okay. Before I sew my bottom shut, I'm going to go ahead and top stitch my bag. just so I know it's all good. I don't have to fix anything, so I'm going to shove my lining back in there. And when you're making the bag, it kind of looks like this when you pull it out and turn it right side out. You want to make sure you fold this in also. There's not going to be an extra lip or anything, because that was our lining piece, that skinny piece that we sewed to our lining, whatever. So make sure that's hidden. It's going to be completely flat, the front of your bag. So we're going to fold all these edges in. Whew, I should put my hair up. And then we're just going to top stitch around the whole thing. Again, I'm just kind of pulling that lining piece on the bottom up so it kind of sits in there a little better. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clip. And I've seen a lot of people when they top stitch this final part of the bag, they kind of move this out of the way and shove it under. So it's kind of, I don't mind. My bobbin looks just fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it like I just did when we sewed the lining to the exterior. And I'm just going to move my this part out of the way and just sew. It's just easier. And if your bobbin looks good, then, I mean, I know it's just because your bobbin sometimes doesn't look as good as your top thread, so that's why a lot of people do that, but I like to be different, I suppose. Aw, thanks, Mary. I always do this. I make bags for myself, and then I'm not a bag lady. That sounds funny. I'm more of a wallet. Like, I just want to carry something small. But then if I'm going shopping with my daughter and I know we're going to be like at the mall for a long time or something, I don't want to just hold, because I have wristlets for my wallets, but I'm always afraid that my wallet's going to pop open and I'm going to lose stuff and not realize it, and I'm just paranoid that way. So if I'm going for a long shopping trip, like with my daughter or something, I will carry a bag that zips that I can put on my shoulder. Like, crossbodies are my favorite, because then I don't even have to hold it. That's work for me. I'm complaining about holding a bag. But, yeah, so, and I love this one, and I'm going to want to make it, but then I go somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to carry that big bag. And then it just sits here, like, all the time. And doesn't get used, because I'm like, oh, it's a big bag. I'll just take my wallet. I'm a dork. Okay. I got it all clipped. I'm just going to top stitch. Goodness, what is up with my nose? I'm going to kind of start toward one of the sides, just so it's not as noticeable, and just top stitch about 1/8 of an inch or so away from the edge. Just take your time. I would backstitch. I suggest backstitching over your straps again, just for that extra stability. And if you use a thread color that matches really well, you don't have to worry too much about what the top stitching looks like, but still try to be nice and careful and pretty with it, if you can. Readjust. Oh, I love this fabric. It's just so pretty. Do a little back stitch on that side seam too. Okay. Getting there. Change my needle here soon. Okay. Where did I get the pretty fabric? Gloria, I got this fabric from Joann, of all places. Yes, it was it's like a canvas. It was back with the home decor stuff. And it was on sale, and that was yesterday. So I'm in Northwest Ohio. I don't know if all the Joanns do the same sales, but it was on sale. All right, I just pulled my lining out. I'm going to unzip that zipper pocket all the way. Reach in and pull. A little easier to explain. We'll shove it all back in here. There we go. Okay, I got my zipper pocket right here. I'm going to reach in and pull out the zipper pocket that we never sewed shut. Then I'm going to reach in and grab my lining. It's going to seem odd, but you want to pull your lining through that zipper. You're going to have to just squeeze it through. It's possible, I promise. Let's see, Wanda says, my bobbin doesn't look good, so I turn my bags so the outside fabric is inside and top stitch. Makes it easy like you stitch. I have done that before on a couple different bags. Sometimes these are kind of stiff, especially if I have a lot of pockets and whatever going on the inside. So luckily my bobbin looks okay, but I have done it on other bags, turned it inside out and then stitched. My iron is Oliso Pro. And it's nice. It has an automatic shut off, so after so long it just automatically shuts off. I've accidentally left it on overnight before and about had a heart attack when I realized it in the morning. And I came out here and there's like a little red light on top when it's off. And I even like touched it and it was cold, ice cold. So luckily, luckily it has that feature because otherwise, whew, that would not have been good. And you can also push this little button on the back and it moves down, so it works like a regular iron. You just have to remember to sit it up, which I like to use when I'm doing interfacing because I don't have a heat press. So I move that button so it stays down so I can just sit it on top of whatever I'm interfacing and kind of do whatever and come back to it. But okay, I pulled my lining through my zipper pocket and I'm just matching up my bottom edge and clipping it. Eclipse Pro. It is OLISO Pro. I'll show you again really quick. There it is. Oliso Pro. It has iTouch technology. Blah, 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 blah. So I know there's some different ones out there. There's like a pink one I've seen and I think a blue one. I think the pink one stays on and stays hot for like 30 minutes, I think it is. This one I think only stays hot for 10 minutes and then you just have to touch it so it does that and then it'll reset another 10 minutes. I think. I have never timed mine, but I think it's 10 minutes. All right, we're just going to do a ½ inch or so seam allowance here. I gotta move my snaps or clips here, they're in the way. Okay. All right. So that's what we got so far. Now we're going to box our corners. Just like we did on the exterior, it's just pulled through that zipper pouch, so you might have to manipulate it just a little bit to get it to do what you want. You are welcome. If I don't say your name, it's because I don't want to say it wrong. I can try. Sandrine? Is that right? All right, and again, it's about ½ inch seam allowance or so. I want it to be a little bigger than what I did on the exterior so it fits snugly inside of my bag. I don't want a loose lining or floppy or whatever you want to call it. That stitch. My lining is waterproof canvas. It's like a it's like an outdoor type fabric. One side kind of has the wrong side kind of has like a rubbery feel to it. The inside is like a canvas. Not No, I did not interface it. It's already pretty stiff, so you don't have to interface it. That's why I love using it for my linings, because then I don't have to, for one, pay for interfacing, which is fine, but it cuts cost. And then two, I don't have to interface it, so it cuts down on time also when making bags for others, or if you're just trying to save money. It's a good alternative to cotton, but you know, a lot of people still use cotton, and I do every once in a while too. Sometimes you just have to, because this waterproof canvas doesn't come in a lot of prints. It's mostly plain colors. They do have some with prints. I actually bought one. It's like a black and white stripe. But yeah, I was just getting to that. I bought it at fabrichwholesaledirect.com. You can get it at, let's see, Amazon also. Let's see. This one is called OtterTex. OTTERTEX. OtterTex, I think is how it's spelled. Something like that. And it's a 600 denier. I think that's where DENIER. I've never said it. I've only ever read it. But yeah, so if you look on Amazon, it's, let me see. I don't have nothing to write on. I would write it down and show you, but maybe once the video's over, it'll save in the group and I can like put a description or put it in the comments. But Fabric Wholesale Direct, OtterTex, I believe is what it's called. And you can also get it on Amazon. I hear that the shipping is cruddy. You know, it's kind of the MO right now. I did find some at my local Walmart. It's not as stiff, but it is still like a waterproof whatever type fabric, and I do like it. Will I buy it again? Probably. The Fabric Wholesale Direct would be my #1 choice, though, if I were to be picky about it. All right, I'm just pulling that lining back through and shoving it down in my bag. Then all we gotta do is sew our zipper pocket. Okay. We already ironed it earlier when we made it, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out here. Looks like it might rain outside. Oh, fabric.com has it also? Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. I haven't looked on fabrics.com in forever. Fabrics.com. Fabric? Is it fabrics.com or fabric.com? Either way, I was on there a long time ago. I haven't looked in a while. I have my go-to places, you know, that I go to, so I'll have to check that out. I kind of forgot all about them. All right, so I just stitched my lining pocket shut, my zipper pocket, and I'll shove it back in there. This waterproof canvas is pretty stiff, so it does help if you steam it a little bit before doing stuff like this. These corners would probably get, you could probably put the corners in a little easier, but we got it. There we go. Zip it shut. Very pretty fabric. I'm excited to use this. All right, so there we go. My lining is crud. I'm so sorry. Let's zip it up. There's the top. That is so pretty. Okay, put it on. I like it. I know, right? I mean, I've made a ton of them, so I might be a little bit quicker than I used to be, but it's my favorite bag, and you can, just making it smaller, like at the 80% is perfect. And then the 100% is a little big for me, but I like them for work. I like to take a lot of crap with me to work, stuff I don't need. So the 100% works for work, but this is really cute. I'm gonna singe these edges of my thread really quick. So yeah, it looks like it's been like thank you, Mary. It looks like it's been an hour and a half. It does not seem like it's been an hour and a half. It feels like it's been like, I don't know, 40 minutes. Like I've been on here an hour and a half and it feels like it's been nothing, but so yeah. So there's my bag. And these straps, I mean, they kind of flop down, so it's okay. But yeah, the strap connectors I would have had to sew on, and I mean, I like them. I still use them, but awesome, awesome. And now I need to make a mini NCW to match because that's my favorite wallet. I would do a live video here for one of those, but I don't really use interfacing in them. I use the waterproof canvas for all of the linings in them, and then like I usually use vinyl for the outside, and I'll probably, well, I know I'll use this on the flap of it, but yeah, I only use a little bit Decoville on that, but maybe I'll make a YouTube video and put it on there to match my bag. So I'm gonna stop chattering and go get around so I can go get my kitty from the vet. But thanks everyone for joining me and hanging out. I'm sure I'll be back again to do another video sometime in the future, but like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going back to work Monday, and I'm working full-time, and it's a swing shift, so my hours are goofy, so I don't know how often I'll actually be able to get on here and make videos, but I'll try. So, all right. Well, it's been nice hanging out. Thanks. Everybody have a nice week. I will talk to you later. Bye.